Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. Check it out, y'all. This is part 2 of Life of a Gangster. You know what I'm saying? The untold stories, right? You're not going to get it in anywhere like I give it to you, period, point blank. Nowhere else are you going to hear the type of stories in detail and keeping it uncut and raw like I do. That's just fact, right? Look here, in this story, right, this young brother named Steven, he finds himself in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? At the age of 12, he wanted so much to be a part of this lifestyle that he ended up finding himself, going to war with these guys, fighting with these guys. He ended up getting locked up in juvenile and then ended up getting locked up in an adult prison. Now, you know what I'm saying, his life is in shambles. His parents are a wreck. And he is in an adult prison now at the age of 18, and his first sexual encounter is with another man. And that's important because you got to remember, a lot of kids coming into these facilities not understanding what's really going on, and they find themselves doing things that, hey, they probably normally wouldn't do. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? All the things that go on these days, you never know. But at the end of the day, this young brother is on his way quick, fast, in a hurry into a lifestyle that is only going to take him further and further down a rabbit hole. You feel me? So just sit back, relax. I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. But look here, before I get into this episode, I want to remind you, check out my new book that's coming out. Me and Boo, we collaborate on this new book called Rivals. It's about a father and son that were in opposite gangs. It's a real good book about generational gang violence. Also, go check that out at jtb3.org, right? And you can get you a copy of that book, right? It's a $20 book, right? Appreciate y'all, and look here, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, y'all. Now check it out. Now Steven, fresh into the penitentiary after he gets out of on the compound anyway, after he gets out of lockup, you know what I'm saying, because when he first got there he was a juvenile, but now he's on the compound. He's engaging fully into what some believe to be the prison experience. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that comes in here doesn't get involved with a man, but a lot of people do. And I understand what's really going on. I see it every day. Well, I used to, not so much these days. But anyway, here's the thing about Steven. He's involving himself in a lot of the activities that goes on in prison. And another activity that goes on in prison that, a lot of young people come in here, find themselves in. Now he's got to get money. He's a part of the Gangster Disciple organization. He has no rank, no authority, no nothing. He's what they call an OSM. That's it. An OSM. Outstanding member. That's all he is. He has no authority to do anything. But he's smart. He's very smart. Very smart. While he was in juvenile, you know what I'm saying, he made sure to still go to school and read all of his books. While he was locked up in the back, waiting to turn 18, he took the GED test and he passed it. He passed it. And he did all of that from studying in a cell. The teachers would just pass you the material and you're on your own. And that's what he did. And he learned and he read and he studied and he passed the test. So he has his GED. He has the capacity, the capability to be able to do more than what he was doing with his life. But here's the thing. That's not what he wanted. So now he's in a pod with other gangsters with no rank, no authority at all, but he wants it. He wants some authority. So he starts to watch. He starts to watch. Because what you have, well, a lot of people don't understand, but what you have when you are living on a compound with a lot of gangster disciples, you might live in a separate building, right? Because there's several different buildings on the compound, right? And all the folks don't live in the same building. All gang members don't live in the same building as their brother. So you're spread out all over the compound. But in that building, in that unit that you live in, you're going to have somebody that you answer to. You understand what I'm saying? That is lower ranking, more than likely, that reports to the people that are higher ranking, the POAs, meaning people in positions of authority. So Steven, like I said, had no rank, so he had to answer to what they call a pod coordinator. The person in that particular pod has the authority to act on behalf of the 9, the person that's in charge of the compound. Keeps everybody in line, makes sure everybody's following the rules and doing what they're supposed to do as a gangster. You understand? So Steven is watching, and he gets real close to this guy. And this guy is teaching him how to be a leader in the Gangster Disciple organization. Be firm, he's telling him. Show no weakness, he's telling him. You feel what I'm saying? everybody gets treated the same way, he's telling them, even though that's not what he's doing, but that's what he's telling Stephen. You feel me? So he starts to go hard. He learns everything he can from this guy, so that one day he can be a good leader. So this brother, this the pod coordinator, he blesses him one day and says he needs somebody to be in charge of the box, the treasurer, right? Not the main treasurer in the pod, but like an assistant to him. He's going to groom him real slow. All right? So he puts him in charge of that. So this brother, Stephen, now he goes around in the pod collecting dues every payday. Every payday he goes around and he collects $6 from every brother in the pod so that he can take it to the treasurer, put it in the pot, and then they can account for every brother paying the dues, because that's what you pay. You know what I'm saying? When you are part of the Gangster Cycle organization, you pay $6 a month. All right? So no matter what, unless you get exempt, and to get exempt takes an act of Congress. So most of the time, if you ain't got it, you better get it. So anyway, he does that, and he does a great job at it. And the treasurer that he was under, the main treasurer that he was under, he ends up getting out of the penitentiary. So what happens? Stephen gets elevated. Now he's the treasurer. Now he's taking care of the money. He's making sure the books are tight. He's making sure the commissary is being loaned out, because that's how it works in here, right? Especially back in the day, it's no, real incentive to do a lot of other things. You can make a lot of money. This is what I'm saying. You can make a lot of money with commissary in here, especially back in the day when they had cigarettes. You feel me? So he's got bags and bags of commissary in several different people's cells, because he can't keep it all in the cell that he's in or in the cell of some of the other brothers. So he spreads it out, and they loan this stuff out as a commissary so they can continue to make money. And then when they make a little bit of money, they got a lot of cigarettes. Then they'll sell those cigarettes. You feel what I'm saying? They'll sell those cigarettes to people on the compound for green money. Then they'll take that green money and then they'll send it out. They'll send that out, use that money to buy their drugs or whatever the case may be, get the drugs brought back into the penitentiary. Now they can make money. You see what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Okay? So Stephen was very good at it, and he was making a lot of money, making a lot of moves, and he was being noticed. Not just by the pod coordinator, but by the 9 on the compound, because they was like, man, that pod right there, y'all taking care of the business. You feel me? And Stephen was charging people. Now, folks that go to the box, you just got to put it back. You get a soda out, you got to put a soda back. Get a bag of chips out, you got to put a bag of chips back. But if you're a peon, it's 2 for 1. You come and get a bag of chips, you got to put 2 bags back. Anything that you get out, you got to put 2 back. And if you don't have the 2 when you're supposed to have the 2, guess what? Double that up. So if you come and get a bag of chips and you owe 2 back, and you don't pay that back that next week when you're supposed to, guess what you owe now? You owe 4. And you still only have a week to get that. So if you could get the 2 bags of chips, how you going to get the 4? So that's how a lot of people ended up getting put in debt when it came to borrowing from the folks. But no biggie, debt is part of the hustle. When they get put in debt, what do? You need to be going to visit and get that pack and bring it back for me. And then I'm going to let you out of debt. Some of them did it, some of them didn't. But that's the hustle. That's how it went, right? So Stephen was real hard on a lot of people. He was making moves, and he was making a lot of money for GD on this compound, in this particular unit. And a lot of people were taking notice, and they liked what they saw. But here's the thing. You remember what I told you earlier about his proclivities, messing with the boy? Well, he was sneaking around doing that in the pond. The folks didn't know it, but guess who did? Now you got to pay attention now and follow me on this. The police did. They would see him. They would see what he would be doing. And they really didn't say anything. They would just take notice and watch, right? They would just take notice and watch. Let him go on about his business. You feel me? He thought they were just being cool and minding their own business because it's the penitentiary. No. That's not how it works. They were investing. They needed to make sure what was going on with him. And I'm going to fill you in on that later. I'm going to get to that, okay? Because it's going to play a big role in how he ascended. But anyway, he's doing this thing, making a lot of money, and he's moving up. Now, the pod coordinator needs somebody to be in charge of his security. Now, Stephen don't want to let the treasury thing go because he has a lot of money moving around, and he's skimming a little bit. Folks in them don't care as long as he, making sure that the books are straight. You feel me? The books are straight. they're good. He's making his money, they're good. You feel what I'm saying? As long as the folks is continuing to make their money. He's making so much money for them, he don't want to let that go. So, but folks tell him, look, we need you here. And by him being a loyal member, he does what folks tell him. And he becomes, you know what I'm saying, head of the security in that pod, not for the whole compound, okay? So now he's making sure that the pod coordinator is always protected. He's making sure that when people go back and forth to the shower, they have escorts. He's doing all those things. He's making sure that all the pocket knives are put up and buried and all of those types of things. And if anything happens, you know what I'm saying, he's reporting it to the COS on the compound. That means Chief of Security on the compound. Making sure that everything is staying in line as far as security is concerned. He is GD crazy, what we call GD crazy. He's fully into this. He's fully into it. You feel what I'm saying? And he's committed to this lifestyle. Well, shortly thereafter, after he becomes head of security, the pod coordinator gets in a little trouble. Why did he get in a little trouble? He's messing around with that cocaine. And he fails a piss test. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Folks don't care that you get high until you get caught. Because it's against the rules. You ain't supposed to be using no addictive drugs. So when he gets caught, now they want to drop the hammer on him. They knew he was doing it, but they didn't know. They didn't have it where they could prove it. They didn't care really. But once he failed a piss test and they got it in black and white, they had to do something, right? Punish him. He loses his spot. But guess who gets the spot? Steven moves up. Now he's a pod coordinator. He ain't even 20 yet, y'all. He ain't even 20 yet. But he's smart, he's capable, and he's GD crazy. He believes in it. He believes in the cause. But he's got a secret. He's got a secret that only the police know about. Ain't that something? Now, don't forget now, when he first did it, there was 2 other brothers that did it with him, but they're gone. They're not on the compound anymore. You feel what I'm saying? So the only ones that know he's getting down like that is him, the boy, and the police that seen him. You feel what I'm saying? And let me tell you something about the police in here. If you think they keep their mouths shut, think again. They report everything. They write everything down somewhere. Why? Leverage. It's going to be used as leverage. One day. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to get back to that. So now Steven's the pod coordinator. And now he's starting to spread his wings. He's sitting at the table with the 9. You feel what I'm saying? Because every pod has a pod coordinator. You feel me? And the 9, that means that's the head of the compound. He wants to know what's going on in every business. So every Saturday before he has his deuce, and the deuce is the meeting of the compound wide, right? But before he has the deuce, he sits down at the table with all the pod coordinators and gets a thorough report about what's going on the compound, especially in their pod. So Steven is sitting at this table, he's putting it down. I'm taking care of this, folks. I'm taking care of that, folks. Ooh, this is that, blah, blah, blah. He ain't playing with nobody. And they respect that. They love that. They love it. So now, Steven gets an opportunity to move up beyond being a pod coordinator to being a part of the high echelon, the structure. The treasurer of the compound. Check it out. Because they remember how Steven was getting that bread. The treasurer of the compound wants Steven to be his assistant over the compound and take what he was doing in that one pod and make it work in all the pods on that compound. Because folks greedy. I'm telling you now, when folks see money coming, they try to figure out a way to make sure it keeps multiplying so they can get more and more of it. So Steven gladly accepts it. Now he's the assistant treasurer of the whole compound. Every treasurer on the compound that's in every pod answers to him. So now he restructures everything. He makes sure that these boxes are locked tight. If it's going out 2 for 1, he wants to know who it is. He's getting a report every week. If they don't pay, he wants to know who it is so he can compromise them and have them packs coming in so they can get their bread. When they got all these cigarettes, he's going to be responsible for selling those cigarettes, making sure that the money off them cigarettes is transferred to the town so they can have their work coming back up in the penitentiary. He is shaking the spot, and everybody is loving it. Everybody is loving it. Everybody's eating, and he's the main reason. But the main treasurer is taking all the credit. He's getting all the props because he picked Steve. That's how it goes, y'all. That's how it goes. Eventually, Stephen gets tired of that because he's ambitious. He wants to be the treasurer of the compound now. Because again, like I said, he's skimming a little money, but the folks ain't mad because they are making plenty of money the way Stephen is running things. You understand? But he wants it all now. Plus, he wants to keep moving up. Now, do you remember when I told you a few minutes ago about the officer that seen him sneaking off with the boy? Well, him and this officer, they've gotten cool. And the officer tells him, look, if there's anything that you ever need, if anything that we can ever do for you, let me know. And I'll take care of that. So here we go, y'all. This is the twist. This is when it starts to get nasty. Because Stephen wants to be the treasurer, right? But he can't be the treasurer as long as the head treasurer is still on the compound. So what does he do? Make a deal with the devil. At the ripe old age of 21, because he's aging while he's in there, right? Okay? At the ripe old age of 21, Stephen has been seasoned. He's learned, okay, to move ahead in this thing and here, you got to have alliances. Alliances with whom? The Popo. That's who. So he says, look, now here's the thing. He feels like he can trust this officer. But why? Because this officer seen him sneaking off, messing with a boy, and ain't said nothing to nobody. You feel me? So he think dude is cool. But he don't know yet. Everything cost in here, y'all. I'm telling you now. He don't know that yet. But anyway, I'm going to get back to that. So he asked the officer, look, I need somebody to be gotten rid of. And I said, what you talking about? And he gave him the dude's name, right? You know what I'm saying? He don't tell him his position. He knows he's the folk, though. The police know he's the folk. He said, what you mean getting rid of? He said, man, can you lock him up, get him off the compound, ship him or something like that? He said, why? He said, I just want him gone. He said, what you gonna do for us? He said, what do you want? What you want me to do? And that's when it got him. He thought he was in then. So the police said, look here, let me get back with you on that. Let me get back with you. So guess what he do? Police go talk to the people he works for. He comes back to Stephen. He tells Stephen, he said, this is what we want. You just make sure and you keep the peace on this compound when it comes to your gangster brothers. You feel me? And we'll do for you. But we're going to keep it on the hush. He said, cool. I'll do that. So you got to keep in mind, the police, all they want what is? No violence, no killing. You feel what I'm saying? They don't want any of that. And he's saying he could do that. Man can't do that. But again, he's ambitious. He's making moves. You understand? So guess what happened? The head treasurer, all of a sudden, they shake him down. Oh my God. They found some weed in the cell. Where'd they come from? Lock him up, pending investigation. Next thing you know, 3 days later, he's gone. He's shipped to another prison. Don't nobody know what happened. Don't nobody know what happened but Stephen. So guess what happens? The nine, he come to Stephen, he said, look here, man. That's what I need from you. He said, I'm going to make you the treasurer over the compound. Can you handle it? Stephen plays the humble role. Man, folks coming back, man. He playing all this old nonsense. Because he's fully committed now to being dirty and raw in this game. He's learned real fast. But he reluctantly, making it seem like that anyway, accepts and takes the position. Now he controls all the money on the compound for the folks. And he's making big boy moves. Big boy moves. And then, this is what happens when you start to smell yourself, feel yourself. Y'all know how it is when you get to feeling yourself. You know how it is. The boy that he's sneaking around with, he gets him moved into the cell with him. Wait a minute, red flags going up all over the place. Folks them like, why you move the boy in the cell with you? Guess what he tell him, y'all? I'm going to use him to hold the packs. You feel me? Got to have somebody to take the fall. You feel me? What happened to folks ain't going to happen to me. He talking about the treasure that he got shipped. Oh, he painted a good picture. I'm talking about Master Picasso with that thing. You understand? Guess what folks them do? They did the Jim Jones. They drank the Kool-Aid. Gone. Got them. Man, that's what's up, folks. Man, that's real smart right there. Now, he ain't got to sneak around with the boy. Oh, they having late night love affairs. It's going down. The boom boom room is open. You understand what I'm saying? And he's got it how he wants it. He's running all the money and the drugs on the compound for the gangster disciples. Plus, he's in the cell with a boy, and nobody suspects that he's having sex with the boy. You feel me? The only ones that know that is who? The po-po. And they are keeping their mouths shut because they made a deal with him to make sure that he kept the violence down, that they didn't care what he did. They would do what he needed for them. It's all on the hush, though. It's all on the hush. You feel me? But that wasn't enough for Steve. Wasn't enough, y'all. Wasn't enough. And it wasn't enough for the police either. Because guess what? They came back wanting some more. What do you think they wanted? They wanted some information now. Who's doing what and who's who and all this and that, right? So now he starts to tell them things about the organization that is not common knowledge. You know? What does the 9 do? Who does he answer to? Things like that. So now information is leaking out all over the place. They are building a dossier on everybody. But he can't see that. See, because he's still young. He's ambitious, and his ambition is blinding him. Blinding him to the fact that he is being used and manipulated, and he's betraying everything that he said that he wanted when he was 12. Hold up now. Hold up now, because it gets better. It gets better, y'all. But check this out. You're going to have to come back and listen to the next episode to hear how good it's going to get. But before I go, I want to tell you, look here. Check out the new book me and Boo collaborated on called Rivals. It's available at jtb3.org. That's Boo's website. Go check that thing out. It ain't but $20. I know y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? Show some support. Appreciate y'all, right? This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker. And I say peace, y'all.